Hello from the dark side. It's actually very dark in my house right now, so I'm trying out new angles where I can get some light. And I get to hang out with one of my favorite houseplants right here. So, today I wanted to talk to you about the dark side and entering into the dark time of year, about sex and the left side, not left politics, which is the bright side, but left is in the side of your body, and just like our attitudes towards darkness and shadow. I'm Lily from Brown Bear Herbs. Today I was getting some physical therapy, and I had a little aha moment where I realized that even though I was not raised with Western religious dogma, and I was not, I just didn't have that in my thinking in a very obvious way, but I found that I have some negative, like long-term negative thinking about my left side of my body. And if you're a lefty, you're probably a little bit more conscious of that kind of cultural bias. You know, like the devil and the left side, the left hand and the devil. And I do have a lot of relationships with Indian people and Indian culture. So there is that side of things where it's like the left side is the unclean side and the right side is the clean side. But I also have this like strong sense of like me, the direction I associate with the left is me versus the right is the other. So that means that I have these concepts tied together of like the left being bad and me being bad on a certain level. Or like if I notice the left more, then is that meaning it's about me or is it about being bad? And what is it to be bad? Oh, what a mess. So blowing that goodbye, that like weird brainwashing that I received at some point in my incarnations to believe the left side is bad. And that just made me think more about what I wanted to talk to you anyways, was about sex and how sex is sometimes considered bad by a lot of people. And it's kind of one of those things that can sneak up on you because you might be like, oh yeah, I'm sex positive, and then you realize you have some like thing come up where you're like slut shaming, or you feel guilty about something that really didn't hurt anybody, or you're not sure how much pleasure you should have. And there's like a lot of spiritual traditions that have a lot of restrictions on how much sex you can be having, even if you're in like a committed long-term relationship, because it's like considered to be draining your energy. And like, I just think from my own experience with sex that there's sex that like is very draining, and even though you can be emotionally like so gripping it and you don't want to let it go, it's draining. It's not good for you emotionally. And then there's other sex that's like very fulfilling and life-giving and like creates a lot of positive energy. So I'm like kind of want to just throw it all out. But really like the importance of checking in with yourself and see how you are feeling. Sexy smokes is a great herbal medicine, let's call it that, because that's what it is, for not just aphrodisiac properties, but also checking in with yourself, letting go of negative sexual experiences, checking into sex in a way that's like healthy for you, present, sensual over like results oriented. So for example, if you have a tendency to feel like a pressure to perform or have an orgasm in either of those in a certain amount of time, then the herbs in Sexy Smoke, especially Damiana in this case, is great for bringing you back to what sex is ideally about, which is connection and relating physically, sensually, not about coming or showing off or your peak performance. Damiana is great for that aspect, like creating more space for the now, for the connection, for sensuality, and moving away from productivity related sex. or results-oriented sex. It's just not as fun. And it can be a little bit more risky to be vulnerable. Like, it might not work out this time, but we're getting to know each other type of feeling. It can feel high pressure. So that's why rose is in there. Rose is to like bring out the heart element and keep you on that vibe, even if what you really want to be doing is exploring sexual pleasure. Having the heart involved keeps it real, keeps it like, hey, this is going to affect me emotionally too. And then the hibiscus and blackberry, they kind of work together. They are like a little team working on your lower energy centers, helping them bring up and whisk out any negative experiences, which like gives like so much more room for like juiciness, rich vibrancy, and like exploding colors and juices, all that stuff. So naturally, mullein is in there too to help ease your lungs. So when you have herbal allies that can help you let go of negative past experiences and bring you into a place of greater sense of the connection to sensuality and relating and just like the beauty of kind of what is flowering and growing between the two of you, or whoever's involved, then I don't know. Is sex so evil? Is sex so bad? Is sex so the downfall of everything? I feel like the problems with sex have more to do with people using other people for their own pleasure and not taking emotions into consideration. And I also think that like a lot of the control of sex has to do with patriarchal domination, where, you know, if a woman is able to have pleasure too, then what's going to happen? That's like, we're losing a lot of control there. The guys are losing a lot of control there. It's really interesting because a lot of these cultures that have really strict rules about sex, they tend to apply to the women and not the men. So I hope that you, if you're into sex and you're into feeling better about your sexual organs, your sexual areas of your body, the way that you think about sex, if you're into that, then I totally recommend trying Sexy Smokes. It's great. In partnership, I recommend both people smoke it, even if you feel like one person has the issues. I would just be interested to see what happens if both people smoke it. I find it works way better for that sensual connection, because actually it's really hard to isolate issues. I feel like if that's how things are being seen, then maybe there's a lack of connection and a lack of willingness to be like present and heartfelt. Just an idea, but it's a fun experiment, so no harm if you try it both together. It's just like a fun new activity. I have had people tell me that they've used Sexy Smokes to get off porn, and I think it really does change your connection to just like what it means to be in those sexual areas of your body. Like, it's not about like how fast can I get off. It's about like, wow, there's this world in me in that area in my whole body that is alive and sensual and exploratory and here, instead of like fabricated sex for mass consumption and money making. So, which is its own thing. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying, if you're not feeling 100% about that in your life, this is something else you can try to see like how it transforms your relationship with your sexual life. While you're exploring the dark side of sex, which is just like a natural part of life that, if approached with like mutual respect, admiration, curiosity, emotional consideration, and respect for the learning curve, then I don't know how dark it is. It's just mysterious. So think about that. What are the areas of your life that are mysterious, perhaps because they've been called bad for so long? And I'm going to think about my left side. And you might think about, you know, people from cultures you don't know as well, or the night. Like, what is going on out there? So if you like this video. Please like this post or this video if you're on YouTube, and give me your comments, and subscribe, and have a great day.